And we're back.
We're back. Welcome back to Big Town Improv.
Big Town Improv with Jesse Moriarty.
And Josh Pilch. On Big Town Improv, we do improv. The first half, we do a montage of short scenes based on true stories. And Jesse, what do we do in the second half?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Josh. In the second half of Big Town Improv, we do a single, long, extended improv scene that can go anywhere.
Anywhere. We choose anything that suits our fancy. And our fancy is picky.
It's a picky fancy. I'm not gonna even argue with you on that one. Why? When I was young, they called me Picky Fancy. They were like, "Hey, there's old Picky Fancy with his cravat and his tall top hat, refusing to eat pickles because he's too picky."
Wow!
Fascinating.
You know what? I don't find that hard to believe that was your childhood.
All right. Well, as astute viewers,
the listeners,
the audience. I
the
suppose.
listener, remember? They're the listener.
Oh, right. We've only got the one. We've got the one guy.
Yeah.
Yes. The last time on Big Town Improv, we established that we have one person who tunes in exclusively.
Yeah. And that's you, the person who's listening.
You. And we want you to know that we appreciate it, by the way. There's other things you could be doing with your time right now.
Yeah, it's weird of you to do this. You can't even talk about it to anyone because...
Yeah, they would have no context.
Right.
Yeah, and you can't even say, like, hey, you should check this new podcast out, because then you wouldn't be special anymore. You would
right.
You would no longer be the listener. We would have to start saying the listeners out there, the people out there, our audience.
Yuck. Hate it.
Yeah. We'd have to start saying like and subscribe and stuff like that.
Never. I believe I speak for Jesse and myself both when I say we don't want any listeners.
It's really this whole podcast experiment that we're doing here is really kind of a surrealist, Dadaist rebellion against the culture of today, which involves trying to get as big of an imprint in the world as possible through social media.
We want to put something out there, and we want no one
my goal is
we want it to be there, but we don't
my goal
want
by the end of the year is to have negative listeners.
I think this is all accomplishable. Boy, I am giddy. I've been working from home lately, so I haven't spoken to anyone today so far.
Nice. Whereas I got to drive 200 miles through the rolling Californian hills, which is actually extremely unpleasant because they are irritating switchbacking roads in which you cannot see if there's anyone coming at you from around. Like I was driving down one of them, and and a sign is there, and it says "Pavement ends." And I'm like,
oh,
just ends? Like, is there still going to be road? Can you even legitimately call this a road if there's no?
Typically, that's what I consider to be pavement is the road.
Yeah.
So
I
don't want that to end while I'm driving on it.
Yes. A lot of the empty spaces. The big cities in California are connected by a lot of roads passing through these open, empty places that are only nominally roads because they only get inspected and repaired very rarely.
Right.
Yeah.
California is a fascinating place. I've only been
It
there
is.
once.
I
The
was
listener
there.
should know that I am currently in New York, baby.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't. Well, I mean, you did because we explained it to you before. But this is a coast to coast podcast.
That's right.
We've got we've got New York humor coming in, and
Right.
and also Californian humor.
Right, you'll notice that I'm like kind of the edgy one. I'm saying what everybody's thinking, but too scared to say things
Yeah,
like
absolutely, yes.
trying to think from previous episodes what a good example of that would be that
And,
I said.
And I'm, the relaxed surfer dude.
Yeah.
Kind of taking down the uptight man in his business suits, and
Right.
he's pointing out all the foibles in your materialist consumerist lifestyle via
Right.
humor.
Right. You can-
Which
you
I
can
think should bring us to our word association portion.
Sure.
If you're ready.
I'm
Do we have
ready.
some random words? I can go to my generator here.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, we get business, cows, voyage, rabbit, soda.
Business, cows, voyage, rabbit, soda. Okay.
This is a story that I think I have told you before, Josh, but I don't
That's
know
all right.
if it's made it onto the airwaves yet. Talking of voyage, when I was 15, my brother and I traveled to London.
Oh yeah.
By ourselves. We didn't. We.
Oh
we were,
yes. This is
we
my
were
favorite story of yours, I think.
Yeah, we were staying in Amsterdam with family, and we decided to spend some time in London because we wanted to, see the sights. And so it's a very short flight from Amsterdam to London, and it wasn't much of a ordeal to get there. Then we have to go through customs, though.
Right.
And I give them my passport to the gentleman behind the customs, behind the desk and he looks at me and he looks at my last name, which is Moriarty. And he looks at it in this very, very British way. He's like, Moriarty, you're not here to kill Sherlock Holmes, are you? We're quite fond of Sherlock Holmes. And I'm there, 15, and I'm like, no. And then he stamps it, and he passes, and he gives it to me, and he waves me on my way. Never smiled, never, did a wink to say, your name is similar to that of a literary character.
Right. This
but I
person
think
that
that
I'm
was
claiming I'm worried about getting hurt isn't real.
Which, I think it actually kind of ties back into how we said, there was East Coast humor and West Coast humor. There's also that was a very good example of English humor, I think.
Yes. Don't acknowledge it.
Yes, don't smile. Just I'm sure, he told that story. He got home from work that day and went to his wife and was like, "Wife, the most amusing thing happened to me today. I met a person named Moriarty," and his wife would have been like, "Oh dear, I hope they weren't there to kill Sherlock Holmes."
And
I
they
said
wouldn't
that
laugh.
very same thing. Yeah, they just do a brief nod between the two of them. But yes,
But they know that they both find it funny.
Yeah, no, one assumes.
You're much better traveled than I am, but I hate whenever I have to go through customs because my passport is so old. And here's the thing about me, Jesse, is every 5 or so years of my life, I look completely different from how I
remember
did.
this. Yes, I'm aware of this phenomenon, actually.
And some of that is my own fault from teenage years trying to grow my hair out real long, that kind of thing. And also just my weight fluctuating. But also, it's just like from being a little kid even to being a teenager, it's like my face looks completely different. But anyway, so now I'm like a bald, skinny guy and with a beard, and in my photo, I'm like kind of bigger, long-haired kid with no beard. So like,
It's interesting because passports are good for a long time.
yes, they are.
So,
yeah. Yeah,
so like your photo can indeed look totally different.
So pretty consistently, whenever I present it, a customs agent will be like, it's always worded like, "Is this you?" It's like, yeah. How would this
This conversation
work?
go if
Right.
like you said
Yeah.
no? Like, is this you? No, it's not.
That's not my passport.
Why are you giving it to me?
I will. Let me real quick. I can tell you my most difficult customs conversation, which was driving home from Montreal. So this was coming back into the U.S. from the anybody who's done it. The little stations that are kind of on the road, almost like a toll booth, and like. So I was driving my father's car. This is hard to explain. It was my grandfather's car originally. He passed, left it to me. Then I moved to New York and it went to my dad. But then I was borrowing it from my dad to take it to Canada. Anyway, this becomes relevant. So the first thing that the customs person is asking me is like about like my license, because I have a Pennsylvania license, but I'm driving home to New York. So I'm trying to answer the questions, but all of the answers become way longer than it seems like they should be. I'm like, well, yeah, I'm from Pennsylvania, and this is my dad's car, and I'm going to stop in Pennsylvania, but I'm going back to New York. Then he checks the trunk. What I forgot is that...
This can't end well. That sentence has never ended well. Like that combination of situations.
My grandfather was an avid fisherman.
Hey, oh my God, you left it. Never mind. That's a joke in bad taste.
You're saying I
please
left my grandfather's body in the trunk?
I was going to say it, but...
That particular grandfather gets lambasted by you on this show.
It's the same grandfather.
It's Frankenstein Filch.
Yes, please continue.
He's an avid fisherman, and so to fit his fishing poles in this like Buick sedan, he cut a hole. He took a knife and cut like a square hole that led from the inside of the trunk into the back seat so that he could put his fishing poles in through the trunk, and like, you know, it would go sort of the length of the car without going fully into the front seat.
Wow. Okay.
So so this was the customs official looking in the trunk saying like, hey, how come there's this hole in here? And then this big long story I just told you, I had to tell to him. But again, like the people who are asking me if the person on my passport is me, I'm not sure how the scam would work. Like, yeah, that's a hole to make all of the drugs in the back seat more visible.
I don't know. It'd be like I can't help but notice you have a deadly king cobra in your back seat. Now, can you pop the trunk for me, sir? I'm safe because he's only got the cobra in the back seat. Ah!
Hey, Jesse, man, I wanted to talk to you. I'm about to go on this like second date.
Oh, congratulations! Is it with the girl from the coffee shop?
Yeah. She's cool. She's
It
she's
sounded pretty cool, yeah.
British.
Oh, okay. That's not a deal breaker, I don't think.
Well, no, I wouldn't have thought so either. But it's the thing is, she assures me that
Yes.
she's enjoying herself and that she finds things funny, but her tone is completely even and impossible to read in that way.
Well, that's probably just a cultural, thing, right? I mean, what
Yeah.
if this really bothers you? Why did you do a second date? I guess is the question.
Well, I guess that's the thing is if genuinely what she's feeling is completely contrary to what she's expressing, like she says, then
Yes.
she seems really nice. But if I'm to take what she's actually conveying to me seriously, then I think she might hate me.
I'm gonna. What was it? I'll check her Facebook. Hang on. She
Yeah.
liked one of your posts. I'll check her.
Yeah.
Check her Facebook. It's interesting here because even Facebook says that she didn't like one of your posts. She approved of it. That's odd.
Yeah. And that's one of the
Anyway.
more positive reactions. I posted a baby picture, and she somehow was able to click that she acknowledged its existence.
How odd! It seems to be altering the algorithm here. But okay, I'm going through her Facebook here. It describes her as an extremely passionate person who is not afraid to speak her mind.
Right.
And that if she doesn't like you, she'll let you know, and that she is very slow to make friends, but when she does make them, that she keeps them for life. It's very strange.
That's everybody on every dating app.
Very interesting. I'll tell
But
you
wait
what.
a minute, that gives me an idea, actually.
Yeah?
What's a date that I could take her on that will almost inherently elicit a big response?
Good question. They're showing, they have a showing of The Lion King at a local theater, but it's just Mufasa's death scene replayed over and over again. It's very interesting. It's at the
That sounds
the Bathos
perfect.
Theater.
Okay.
All right.
We cut to the theater. Hey, Mariah. Thanks for meeting me here. Good to see you.
Josh, how lovely to see you again. You have worn a shirt bearing the logo
Yeah.
of my favorite band.
Oh, yeah. You like Weezer?
Naturally, I think Weezer is the greatest band that has ever performed. Once, I was able to attend a live concert. It was perhaps the
did
greatest
you like it?
experience of my life.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, shall we purchase tickets to this film?
I've already got them. Got 2 tickets right here. I believe we're in Theater 7.
Very good. I shall acquire us a pair of ices. Which flavor do you prefer?
Oh, I like cherry. What are you getting?
You are a fool. And
Oh.
all know that the blue icy is the superior flavor.
All right. Well, I like that you have an opinion about which one.
Everyone has an opinion on which icy they like. No one is neutral on this subject.
I am a little offended. You called me a fool. Were you joking around?
Surely you could tell by my tone that I was being facetious.
No, it didn't immediately come
Excuse
across.
me. May I have one blue icy and one cherry icy? Thank you. You blithering incompetent. You have given us 2 cherry ices.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
Here is a knife. Go to the bathroom and slit your own throat you disgusting waste of humanity.
I probably should ask my manager about that first. Mariah, I don't tell the guy to kill himself. Why? You shouldn't have brought a knife to a theater. Oh, is this a
What?
joke also?
Naturally, I am beginning to suspect your sense of humor is slightly deficient, George.
No, I like dark humor. I just it's you're conveying it so like it's so dry that it is almost indistinguishable from being a genuine point of view that you're conveying.
Perhaps when you were young, you suffered an undiagnosed brain injury that cripples your ability to perceive humor.
No. Yeah.
No,
I
it's
get- what?
very sad.
Oh.
My father is a neurosurgeon. Perhaps he could help you.
Ha ha ha. Yeah, that's true.
Here is his card.
Okay. Ha ha. That's funny. Okay. Well, anyway, the theater's right in here. Why don't we come in?
Yes, very good.
All right. Oh, good. It's starting.
Now-
Scar, brother.
Long live the king!
No,
Dad.
but I'm going to climb back up.
Odd. What, I have seen this film before. I don't
Yeah,
recall
but not
this.
like this, right?
Alright, let's see what happens next. I almost made it back to the ridge. Scar, help me just this last bit.
Long live the king even longer.
Ah! Oh, good thing I brought my parachute. Now I'll simply climb back up yet again. And this time, sure Scar will help me and pull me up.
What? You again? I'm not interested in helping you, and each time I say long live the king, I meant it sarcastically. Long live the king!
Ah! Fortunately, a grappling hook. Well, Scar doesn't seem that interested in helping me, so I'll climb up here to where his cousin Wound is waiting. Wound, help me!
Oh yes, it's you. The king must die.
What? You mean to murder me? How could I have guessed it?
That's right. Goodbye.
Ah! Oh, luckily, the wildebeests are a lot softer than they look. Passport? Passport, sir?
Yes. Sorry if I seem a little nervous. It's just all the rules. I want to follow the rules. Here you go.
This is your passport, sir?
Yeah, I get that a lot. Yes, that's my passport.
It's just that the picture is of an alligator.
Yeah. God, I have to explain this every time. So I got my passport in Florida, where I'm from. The problem was when I went to get my picture at the local Rite Aid, I was wearing a white shirt, which was the same as the white background of the the picture background. So I had to wear a sweatshirt that they had. Unfortunately, what they didn't realize was overnight the sweatshirt had been soaked in meat, and an alligator that got out came into the Rite Aid tried to eat me and wound up in the photo instead of me. I'm sure you hear stories like this all the time.
Well, I
don't
have
mean to
some
bore
follow-up questions, actually.
Oh boy, I really need to get home.
First, how do you not realize that your sweater is soaked in meat? How did that slip by?
Right, I should have seen that question coming. It's always the next question. It happened overnight. See, I guess, and this is only what I hear from the Rite Aid employees, but I guess a janitor came in to mop up the carpets, and
don't mop carpets, as far as I'm aware.
well, this was an insane janitor who brought a huge lunch. A huge lunch.
All of this is, every story just creates more and more, one might call them plot holes that you have to then go deeper into explaining. But why not simply retake the photo without the alligator once you got a shirt that was a different...
Right. Well, I was hospitalized for a little while, and then by the time I was out of the hospital, that Rite Aid had been demolished, which was a result directly from the alligator infestation that
I too wouldn't want to go back to that Rite Aid, but there are other places where you could get passport photos taken.
Yeah, right. Okay, yes. I see what you're asking, and God, do I want to get home. But, so yeah, once I was out of the hospital, I went to the library.
Yeah?
And I was waiting to get my photo taken. But in the meantime, I thought I would read a book. So I pulled out Catcher in the Rye. Well, it turned out the person behind me in line to get their passport taken was a rabid Beatles fan and hated seeing anybody sitting around reading Catcher in the Rye, just like Mark David Chapman did. So he went into a violent rage, and you can see where this is going. Covered my clothes with meat.
Okay, can I ask you this?
Bush-legged alligator, yeah.
Why then did the passport agency even issue such a passport, realizing that it was in fact a large reptile in the picture and not a human being? Should have been immediately obvious.
Every one of my... I just wish one of these answers would lead to a satisfying conclusion, but... okay, I think this will be the one.
Yes, I'm all ears, sir.
So, right. So the Rite Aid, the original Rite Aid sent my photo off to an agency to be approved. That agency.
Yeah. You must be aware, sir, that there's very little likelihood that I'm going to let you into this country, because
but this is what happened. This is what happened.
Sir, this passport says under name it says A. Alligator.
Right, that's my name.
And under height it says 6.5 feet long. Eyes green, skin green, hair none.
Right, well, you can see that that's all true. And that's always what the next question is. Anyway, by the way, the person reviewing my photo had face blindness and just couldn't tell that it was an alligator instead of a person.
Why would they hire such a person?
Well, they didn't know. He lied on his resume. The top of his resume apparently said, "I can see people's faces clearly."
I put that on my resume too. It's an important skill to have.
It's hard to put down what years that's applicable.
Okay, and so somehow through an unlikely series of events, they issued a passport to Mr. Allen Alligator for with a picture of an alligator in the place. And yet there are multiple stamps in here indicating that this is not the first trip you've taken with this passport. Why not simply get a new one that has a picture of your human face?
Well, like I said, at this point, it feels like a curse because...
Yes, I agree.
Okay, wait. I'm going to think of a way to answer this so that the conclusion is satisfying, okay? So be prepared to feel like everything is all tied up and makes sense by the end of this explanation, all right?
I'm ready.
Okay, so I went to get... this was my third attempt. I went... As we know, popular places you can get your passport photo are a drugstore, a library, there, and another one is
yeah. They have stores that are dedicated simply for photos.
Right, and that is where I went. For my third attempt was a photo store. Well, when I got there, I accidentally walked right into the dark room where everybody's passport photos were being developed, and I ruined all of them.
Oh no.
And so I was asked not to come back there. I got on the phone with the passport agency where I found out about the guy with face blindness. I was called to the police department to identify the janitor who covered people's clothes in meat, which is kind of, and then since then everything has been totally normal and smooth sailing. I'm just waiting until the expiration of this particular passport, and
I'm with you so far. I mean,
all right, and so that's why I'm now
traveling with a passport that, instead of showing a picture of you, shows a picture of a smiling alligator.
That's right.
Well, I mean, it makes perfect sense. Welcome to Florida, sir. Here you...
Oh, God, finally out of Georgia.
I'm sorry for all the trouble. Here, have a complimentary Florida sweatshirt. There you go.
Oh, thank you. Oh, this is nice.
No, that's the one I was
Smells
storing
good.
in meat.
Oh, why were you doing that?
Quickly, get his picture.
A smile, I'm smiling. Ah, alligator.
Hey, Phil, come here.
Yeah.
Check it out. So, what's the biggest problem when you're smuggling drugs across an international border?
Well,
No, it's not rhetorical. Go ahead and answer the question.
The biggest problem? Well, it's it's hiding it. It's
Yeah, that's right. They look inside your car and stuff, right? Looking for drugs.
Right.
But they keep finding our drugs because we keep putting them in like the glove box or the trunk, right? Which, in retrospect, are obvious places for a person to hide drugs, right?
Right. I'm listening.
Well, I've come up with the most brilliant drug smuggling plan that there is, eh? All right?
Okay.
Yeah. Come here. Check it out. So, look, this just looks like a normal Buick, right?
Yeah. Right. Just
Perfectly
a normal car.
normal, innocent, average Buick, right?
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely, right?
I see nothing wrong with it.
I open up the trunk like so. And what do you see inside the trunk?
Looks like a hole.
That's right. I cut a hole in the Florida trunk, and that's where we're gonna put the drugs.
You're gonna put it deeper. The trunk already is an opening into the car, and you just cut a deeper opening within the trunk?
That's right. It leads all the way down to the street.
Okay. So it's a hole out of the other side of the car, is what you're saying.
Correct. Give me some drugs here. I'll show you how it works.
All right, here's a whole lot of drugs.
All right, I put them in the hole, like so, right?
Uh-huh.
I drive around the block. Go ahead and open the trunk. Try and find the drugs. They're not there, are they?
Well, you're right.
They're actually on the street a few feet ahead of us when you dropped them through the hole.
Jack,
Yeah.
Are you okay?
What do you mean?
Your plan is to just not take the drugs. Are you scared? Is that what this is?
Well, I mean, remember what happened to Flex? They caught him with drugs in his trunk.
Yeah.
And now he's stuck in Canada forever. He's got to work at a tour guide in Niagara Falls.
Oh, yeah. Which is like a prison.
In Canada, yeah. It's bad. It's a bad scene, man. I'm starting to think that the drug smuggling business is extremely risky.
Yeah, it's true. I'm not sure. And truly, I got into this business because I'm risk averse. I was under the impression that this is going to be fully a smooth sailing, easy ride.
Absolutely. When One-Eyed Tony hired us, he said that, like, you go and get into drugs for having a secure job that's gonna carry you through retirement.
Yeah. Something tells me that One-Eyed Tony wasn't being totally honest in that moment.
I was shocked, you know? I was shocked to discover that I put that man on a pedestal.
Yeah. Oh, One-Eyed Tony. What a guy.
Absolutely. Oy. Remember when he gave old Shifty Felix that free pair of concrete shoes and tossed him into the harbor?
So generous. Such a generous man.
A saint, really. But as it turns out, he might have been a little bit of an exaggerator when it came to smuggling drugs.
Huh. I don't want to believe it, but the more I think about it.
Well, okay. So last time I went through the customs, right, at the Canadian border. I asked him. I said, "Hey, if hypothetically," I said hypothetically, but I gotta level with you here. It wasn't hypothetical. It was the reality of the situation. I said, hypothetically, what if I was smuggling drugs? What would happen to me? And the fella told me that it actually carries a hefty prison sentence.
Huh. Yeah. See, this is what. Yeah, I don't. These are the things. These are the red flags that are popping up since then. The customs guy did.
Yeah.
Huh.
There are really nice people in Canada.
Yeah, that's true.
So what I'm thinking is, I got this book of the law, and I got a book of Canadian law too, so I could compare.
Yeah.
It might be different, you know.
Right,
U.S. law
right.
might be different from the Canadian law.
Yeah.
And in either book, does it say that there's anything illegal about transporting wedding cakes.
Okay, so your thought is...
That's right. We opened a wedding cake business near the Canadian border that caters to both people on the Canadian side and the people of upstate New York, which means we will occasionally have to drive across the border with cakes to deliver them to people's weddings.
And we're doing this specifically because it's an item that isn't illegal to transport.
Correct.
I like the way you think.
Yeah, that's right.
We cut to the cake shop.
Cakes! We got wedding cakes!
Hey, come. You're getting married? Here's the place for you. Knock, knock.
Hey,
Oh, don't you recognize me and my one eye?
One-Eyed Tony.
That's right. What
One-Eyed
are you
Tony.
two up to here?
One-Eyed Tony, look, we found out, and I'm not accusing you of anything here, but we found out that smuggling drugs actually carries a lot of very serious consequences if you're caught.
Well, who told you that?
The law enforcement agencies on both sides of the border.
You're probably looking at the old law books. You gotta trust me, One-Eyed Tony.
Well, now hold on, One-Eyed Tony, because it's true that you pulled both of us out of poverty and gave us a position in your organization.
It is true. I'm the other guy.
Thanks, yeah. Look, and we do owe you a lot, but, you know,
I should
on the
so.
On the other hand, it's also true that you cut off my pinky finger when I didn't make a delivery, and you took out.
Well, I told you at the time it'll grow back, and this is a fitting punishment for I told you I filed all the paperwork through HR. It was all perfectly on the up and up.
No, I'm not denying it. I'm just saying that instead of doing that, you could have had a constructive conversation about how I could improve my job performance in the future. That's how we run our cake shop, by the way. Yeah. Colby is my assistant. Come in here, Colby.
Is that me?
Yeah. Come in here, Colby.
Yeah.
Hey, Colby, you remember what happened when that one couple wanted a lemon wedding cake and you accidentally made for them a angel food cake?
Yeah, One-Eyed Tony. The couple just told me that I did the wrong one and asked me to do it again.
And you know
free
what?
of charge.
We made them that second cake. We didn't charge them for it. And you know what else I did? I sat Colby down and I explained to him the importance of double checking every order that comes in to make sure mistakes like that are not made.
All right. I mean, if that's how you want to run your business, but the thing is, according to best business practices, as you know, a better option would be, knock them out, put them in a shallow grave.
Yeah, you know what? And I tried that in the beginning of the cake shop.
He did try that.
Unfortunately, the grave was too shallow, and Colby was very easily able to escape.
I was a little disoriented at first, but I'm okay now.
But look, I'm putting my foot down here because according to Deepak Chopra's audiobook that I've been listening to recently, very important is confidence, even the people you admire, One-Eyed Tony. So I don't want to smuggle any more drugs. I'm enjoying my wedding cake business, and I would like you to try this free sample of our new flavor, Blue Velvet.
You are very foolish. Everybody knows the preferable flavor is cherry velvet.
Well, that's what everybody says until they try our Blue Velvet. And I'll tell you what. You know who agrees with me?
Who's that?
The Ottawa Times. We've got a great review in the paper for our wedding cake shop.
Well, you know who agrees with me that cherry velvet is a preferable flavor?
Who's that?
This nice British woman who I've been going around with. Come say hi,
What?
Mariah.
One-eyed Tony, you are a despicable fiend and a criminal, and I am, in fact, a undercover federal agent. I've told you this several times.
I love this sense of humor. I totally get it.
Very good, very British. Anyway, you want the cake or not?
All right, I'll take some. Oh. Well, that cake is amazing.
Perhaps we should serve it at our wedding, One-eyed Tony.
Yeah, why don't you try it? You'll be just as blown away as me.
Very well. It is acceptable. I like that there's a little bit of a callback there.
I heard the word blue, and that's all I needed.
I think it is true that everybody has an icy opinion. I've never known anyone who is neutral on the topic. It's like Ninja Turtles, you know? You have to have a preference.
Who's your Ninja Turtle?
Leonardo, obviously. In fact, it was in retrospect, when I think back on it, like, I always liked the blue character. Like, the blue Power Ranger was also my favorite.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The blue Ninja Turtle, you know. It's all, I generally liked the blue one.
Right. I can't think of another cartoon with
primary colors.
Maybe Voltron. Did they have that?
Yeah, they do. There's a blue lion, all right, but I never actually.
Okay.
I didn't actually watch that one as a kid. It was not one of the ones in our lineup. Double Dragon. Had a red dragon and a blue dragon, and I was always about that blue dragon.
Oh, is that a video game?
Yeah, Sub-Zero too. Mortal Kombat.
Right.
My brother was Scorpion. I was always Sub-Zero. I would prefer Sub-Zero.
Yeah. And you like the blue icy?
Yes, I do. I think the blue is the superior icy. What about you? Which was your Ninja Turtle?
I actually do go back and forth, Donatello or Leonardo.
Oh, interesting.
You know, I think I want to relate to the smart one, but I also want to relate to the leader.
Yeah, that's fair. It's legitimately fair. It's interesting because Leonardo, like, he was the only one whose weapons were specifically designed for killing his opponents, you know?
Oh, that's true. He had swords.
Yeah, Donatello, I've seen, he you know, you don't have to, you cannot kill someone with a bow staff. A nunchuck could kill someone, but it doesn't necessarily kill anybody.
Right.
I mean, and even Raphael, like, who had the size, like, he could use them to, like, pull people's weapons away, which I think was one of their actual intended purposes.
Right,
you know,
yeah.
you trap it between the two prongs of the thing and twist. But
then
Leonardo,
all you can do is punch.
What's that?
Well, what? All you can do is punch.
Yeah, well, I mean, punching is a level better than being stabbed, I suppose.
Yeah, that's true.
But Leonardo was meant to kill. Like, he had two swords, and there's no, like, defensive application, really.
That's true. I do recall, like, in that cartoon, I feel like you don't really see them use their weapons, even particularly him. You don't really see them use their weapons at all, because I guess you couldn't show that level of violence on a kid's cartoon.
Well, a lot of the foot ninjas were robots.
That's always the way. The listener should know if they're not. I'm sure I've got, like, based on my background, on both our backgrounds, I'm sure we've got some animators listening. But for those who don't know the way to get around Violence in a cartoon is make them robots. The censors will let you do whatever you want to a robot.
It's true. Like, and there's actually like a disturbing existential element to that. You know,
You're right.
like, for one thing, how is the Shredder like financing all these robots? And
That's true.
And they were robots, I'll tell you, that like were apparently capable of doing pretty much anything that a human being could do, right?
Pretty close to sentient, yeah. So,
but even if they weren't sentient, even if they were like merely, you know, brilliantly designed, and we can't do that now with robots. Like the Shredder could have like legitimately sold that technology and basically taken over the world in an entirely fair and legal way.
Yeah, I mean that's always that's always the thing with these shows, right? Iron Man probably shouldn't be a superhero. Definitely Batman shouldn't. Just spend that money on improving your community and the world.
That was I saw the Joker film recently.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
No.
Well, I mean, without giving too much away, a theme of the film is that Gotham City is just not a nice place to live.
Right.
Like, it's a very bad city because the economy is very bad. Like, which is really the only reason that a city would be bad. Like, if people are living in it, you know, like if the economy is bad, then there's going to be crime and whatnot. Like, unless like you wouldn't really build a city that was like an evil by nature city.
Right.
Like you offer discounts or something to villains to live there. but again, like, and this is a non-zero factor in the creation of the Joker and from the comics and such, a lot of his other villains as well, right? And Batman could solve that instantly.
Right.
Like,
right. And the best thing to do if you want to keep reading Batman comics is not think about it. Hey, Jack.
Yeah, what's up?
You're up next. You're up next to do stand-up comedy. They're gonna introduce you soon.
What an odd. You provide a lot of context when you talk to people. Do you know that? Like, I'm aware of where I am and what I'm doing.
Look, it's literally the first thing I said. I wanted to be very clear. I'll probably start to speak a little bit more normally as we continue talking.
All right, fair enough. Okay, all right, well, I got my jokes here, so I'm ready.
All right, but remember, this is a mean city.
What?
Oh, yes. This is a mean city you're in. I know you're a touring stand-up comedian, right?
Again, I know that, and you know that. There is no reason.
I don't... Okay, all right.
I'm just going to go out on the stage, okay?
All right, go for it.
All right.
Yeah. Hey, what are you doing? I'm about to introduce you.
All right, sorry, go ahead.
All right, yeah, all you idiots, put your hands together for this dumb idiot, Jack, Blaster.
Hey, why don't you come here and make us? You damn son of a bitch.
I'm keeping my hands as far apart as possible.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna turn on this white noise machine. So even if other people applaud, it'll be hard to hear them.
Yeah, good one.
Hey, how are you? Good evening, Mean City. Good to see you all.
We're bad.
I thought I would start with a couple of talking about some of the differences between men and women, which I'm sure all of you have noticed. Like,
We don't care about that. Wait, what?
We don't? I kind of want to... I feel like I would like to hear...
Gender's not a binary.
He's right. And besides, it sounds like you're going to be talking stereotypes that are now outdated. All right. Well, I guess I can pass over those jokes. All right. Well, here's a funny thing that happened to me. I was getting my car repaired, and the mechanic was a huge asshole. Right?
He was an asshole. Usually, stories like this, it turns out you were the one. This is like a Yelp review.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you'll let me.
All right, go ahead. Let's hear the story.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you, Phil, should not assume the nature of the anecdote straight away.
All right, you're right. But here in Mean City, we like to tear people down.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that, Phil. And I'll tell you something else. You're not wrong about a lot of things. You're often right, and that's why I enjoy our friendship.
Thanks, Brian. That's good to hear. And that's why I'm open to hearing your opinions about letting the comedian finish his anecdote before passing judgment.
Mean City.
Mean City.
So, my car was making a weird noise, right? Like a fut. You know that noise that cars make that, it's like you're driving along and it starts making the fut, and you're like, oh no, that's a bad noise, car. Don't you be doing that. I'm gonna count to 3 and then you better stop. Hey, he's talking about the car like it was a sentient animate thing instead of an inanimate object. I find that amusing.
Okay, I can see where the humor comes from, a juxtaposition of unlike expectations.
Yeah, it's true. And I'll tell you something else, Phil.
Yeah, what is it, Brian?
I have also occasionally had vehicular trouble in the past, making this anecdote even more relatable to me, which, now I consider it, now I think about it, was probably his intention. He was probably trying to think of a common experience shared by many.
Yeah, I guess you're right, and I guess by hearing you say that, I'm reminded that I have children, and occasionally, to get them to do what I would like them to do, brush their teeth, these sorts of things, I will count to 4 and encourage them to do it before I'm done counting. It's almost as if he mapped that experience, that common experience, onto the other common experience of vehicular trouble.
As the philosopher Wittgenstein has observed, human life has no inherent meaning besides that which we assign it. And this absurdity is, in fact, what provides meaning to life. And I have to say that I don't think my life would be quite as rich and enjoyable as it is if I wasn't friends with you, Phil.
Brian, I couldn't have said that better myself. You know what? Jack Blaster is the best comedian I've ever seen.
I think you're right. And here in Mean City, you know what we do to good comedians?
Yeah, I know.
We beat them up.
Come here, you.
What the hell? Things were going so well. I don't understand.
Buddy, this way.
Oh my gosh. Those 2 guys, they were really gonna beat me up. I mean, it wasn't a large audience, so I guess that was lucky.
Yeah, you got off easy. Listen, come down into these catacombs.
Wait, I recognize you. Aren't you Carrie Georgelin, the stand-up comedian? But you disappeared last year.
That's
no
right.
one knew what happened to you.
That's right. Oh, gosh, has it been a whole year already?
What happened, Carrie? You were performing here in Mean City.
That's right. Just like you, I was performing in Mean City, and, well, I got chased by the very confusing audiences they have here, who are determined to tear down comedians that they either like a lot because they get them to think, or just completely hate.
It was a very odd thing, you know. I couldn't tell if they were like really enjoying my set and beat people up that they enjoy because they're just mean people, or they didn't like my set and were beating me up because they didn't like it. You know, like.
Right.
They told me this was Mean City, but genuinely, it's just a very confusing city.
Yeah. Well, I've been here for a year now, and I've gathered.
And you've been living in the catacombs beneath
That's right.
Mean City?
That's right. I've tried to escape so many times, but I'm always seen. There's always someone out and about, and my face is just recognizable enough as famous comedian Carrie George Lind.
Yeah.
That I can never escape. But down here in the catacombs, I've been able to listen. And what I've gathered about Mean City is that Mean City has a sister city called...
What?
Yeah, called Grump Town.
Wait, I thought it would be like Nice City, like an opposite kind of...
No. They're competitive with them because Grump Town is genuinely a film noir-esque dump where they're able to tear people down so much that they turn into supervillains.
What? Wait a minute. Let me walk this back a minute, Carrie. So we're in Mean City right now, which is a major city
right.
that in the United States that everyone's heard of, obviously.
That's right.
And despite the fact that like it's a decent sized city with a presumably very varied population, everybody in this city is mean. And I didn't believe that when I first came. I thought that it was just the joke is it's called Mean City and everybody in it is mean, but I thought that must just be a joke that people tell, because oddly enough, you never really meet people from Mean City or people who came from here and left and went somewhere else. Mm-hmm. But now you're telling me that there's another city named Grump Town that everyone in Mean City is aware of, but nobody outside of Mean City really knows.
Yeah, neither of them are huge cities.
Well, I assume, yeah. Well, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, hey, where did that comedian go, Phil?
Oh, I've just been standing here pounding my fist into my own hand, but I wish it was pounding into that comedian!
Jack Blaster. Well, when we catch him, we're gonna blast him. We're gonna blast him with mechanical force from our fists, pummeling him.
That's right.
Wait a minute. Look here. I just got a ding on my smartphone from my news app. It says, Grump Town has just made the World Series.
Grump Town.
This is pissing me off, Phil.
Me too, Brian. God, all I've wanted was to see Grump Town go down. I just want to be its better in every way. All I want for our fair city is to have a supervillain of our own. That's
Phil.
What is it,
Look
Brian?
at me. There's no shame in expressing your emotions in that way. You understand me? I will not have any toxic masculinity here in Main City. If you feel like crying, then you're gonna cry, okay? And I'll be here, a shoulder for you.
Thanks, Brian. I'm so glad that you're my deputy mayor.
Absolutely. You know what? You're the best mayor that Main City has ever had.
I don't always feel that way. And I'm comfortable expressing that to you.
Well, one of these days, we're gonna beat Grumptown, you know? We're gonna get our own supervillain, and that's why we gotta keep harassing these comedians.
That's right. That's right. All we've got to do is schedule another one to come to Chuckles, the comedy club.
It's funny because chuckles is the sound people make when they laugh.
It's an appropriate name for the comedy club. If you
All
think
right,
about
let me
it.
check. Let me check the listings here. Let's see who's up and coming. You know.
Right.
Here we go. This guy right here is Tyler Napier is the next
Yeah.
big comedian. I'm gonna send him an invite via Facebook, saying, Mr. Napier, please join us for.
Well, hang on. Why don't we watch a YouTube video of him and see if we can gather how fragile his psyche is?
That seems wise. Back in the catacombs. So you're telling me that they're deliberately trying to beat this town of Grumptown. What can we do, Carrie? Like, I don't want to live in catacombs for the rest of my life.
Well, that's what I said also, but
I
here
also do
am.
not want to become a comedy-themed supervillain if I can avoid it.
Right, that's what I want also, but, that's the problem. See, either I stay here and live a decent life eating roasted lizards in the sewers,
Sure.
or I try to leave and I'm always seen by a member of the town and they attempt to chip away at my...
Wait a minute. I've got an idea.
What's that?
You're pretty recognizable. You're Carrie Georgeland, the famous comedian. You've played in Hackensack, in Peoria. You've played in Lubbock.
That's true. I've played in Grumptown.
You played in Grumptown?
Yeah, I killed there. It was such a pleasant experience.
So it's not a bad town. Like, it's actually quite a nice.
Well, I don't know. I wasn't there for long, but...
But if you keep getting recognized, why don't we just disguise you? Okay, part of my act involves me sitting quietly and putting on an entire set of clown makeup.
Wow, that sounds funny.
I know, right? It's great. What if we put the clown makeup on you, and then you'll be able to leave and nobody could recognize you?
All right. That sounds pretty good, but what are we going to do about you?
Good question. Well, I'm not that recognizable yet, but I also have
You'll
this...
get there.
Well, thanks. Thanks, George. That's really nice of you to say. You know, coming from a famous comedian like that.
Yeah.
Well, I do have this harlequin patterned unitard. Perhaps if I put it on, my curves will distract people and keep them from looking too closely at my face.
That's a brilliant idea. All right.
Okay. So we'll put everything on, and then we'll just head straight for the Mean City exit. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Well, my car that I drove here is probably still parked where I left it a year ago, over on the corner of Nasty Avenue and
Kick in the butt lane. Yes.
How'd you know that?
Well, I mean, it's become a bit of a tourist attraction now. It's Carrie
Oh, my
Georgeland's
car?
car. Yeah, because it's weird. It's got that big old rotating clown head on the top and is loaded with a bunch of dangerous booby traps that are all somehow comedy themed.
Dangerous booby traps. I guess that's what what my prop comedy has been interpreted as.
Very weird, because I think they're hilarious. Guy tried to steal the hubcaps and was fatally electrocuted.
Oh, geez. Right. That's for my my funny joke about electric hubcaps. You know.
The hubcap bit, yes. Oh man.
Yeah.
It absolutely killed in Visalia. Wow.
Yeah. I'm glad you know it, so I don't have to recite
I mean,
it
it's all over YouTube after all.
Right.
I heard that. Actually, while you've been down here, I don't want to piss you off, George, but
Yeah.
but there's a comedian has been stealing some of your bits.
What?
Yeah,
Of course.
guy named Tyler. He's been appearing in a bunch of local comedy clubs, and he just says word for word, verbatim, Kerry Georgeland bits.
Wait, Tyler Napier?
Yeah, that's the guy.
I know Tyler Napier. He's my arch enemy in comedy. Born
What?
with
Is that a thing? Is that a concept that exists?
Oh, we comedians can get pretty petty and angry with each other. And this guy, Tyler, is born with a silver spoon in his mouth. Everything he's wanted in life has just been handed to him. Every headlining job in all the comedy clubs, they just give it to him because he's got a pretty face, and they know his name because he's rich, and they feel bad for him because his rich parents died tragically.
Yeah, well, I mean that is the source of his only original bit, is where he tells the sad story of his parents' terrible demise and lays a single rose in the alley where they were shot dead. Yeah.
I hate to admit it, but it's hilarious.
Well, hopefully, once you get out of these catacombs and finally make the comedy scene again, you'll be able to just shut him down, and we'll cancel culture his ass. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, cool. Yeah, we'll find out something bad he did.
I mean, he's been stealing bits. I feel like that's pretty bad.
Right. Yeah. That's true. Excellent. Okay, let's begin to put on our disguises.
Meanwhile,
at City Hall.
So, what do you think, Mr. Mayor? I mean, do you think Tyler Napier is going to finally be the supervillain that we need here in Mean City?
Oh, absolutely. Watching this performance has completely made up my mind. This is the kind of person who we're gonna be able to break easily.
Yeah. Well, I was not able to reach him via Facebook or Instagram or any social media. He doesn't have any kind of contact information, which is really weird. So I got this giant spotlight, and I'm going to put it on the roof of the building here and just shine it into the sky, and it's got his symbol on there, and hopefully that will convince him to show up.
But Brian, his symbol?
Yeah, Mr. Tyler Napier's symbol.
Oh, okay.
It's his name.
But Brian, shining a light directly into the sky, that's not really going to show up.
Well, I could try and shine it onto one of the many zeppelins that fill the sky here of Mean City.
That's a good idea, yeah. Plus, when it gets dark and cloudy, it'll be easy to see. All right, turn it on.
Oh, and one other piece of business, Mr. Mayor.
What's that?
Well, it's about Kerry Georgeland, the comedian that we beat up and harassed a year ago,
right.
But who then disappeared.
Yeah, I was sure he'd be the one.
I've had the police looking for him pretty regularly, but there's been no evidence of where he's been,
Well, all right. Make sure the police continue to look for someone who's not wearing any makeup and has normal clothes on.
That's all they look for, boss.
Good. That's what Carrie looks like.
But speaking of the whole normal clothes bit, I think that might be what allows the exotic bird-themed criminal who runs a popular lounge downtown to continue operating, because the police will never arrest the flamingo for all his crimes because he's wearing really outrageous clothes.
Right. See, I'm really at odds because I like the idea of Meantown having that outrageous a criminal. I just wish he would push it a little further.
Yeah, he really doesn't do anything than run a nightclub, and occasionally he's been trying to buy Chuckles and convert it into the Flamingo Pond 2.
Which is perfectly legal.
Yeah, now that I think about it, there's no real reason for calling him a criminal other than the fact that I don't like that he wears really outrageous clothes.
All right. Why don't you shine the Napier symbol?
All right, I'm gonna pull the switch here, boss.
All right.
It was nice of you to meet me on the roof, by the way.
Yeah. The roof of City Hall here.
There we go.
Hopefully he'll answer the call. I realize I'm just standing here and nobody's behind me at the moment. I'll just
That is nice.
Yeah, well,
That's nice. I'm standing here too, and there's definitely no one behind you or me.
Yep. Should be perfectly fine for us to turn around now.
I tell you what, I'll go back downstairs. You have a cigarette and just stare stoically into the night, all right?
Sounds good. You, Brian, you got a light?
Yeah. Oh,
Thanks,
yeah.
Brian.
Hey, by the way, whether or not our various plans succeed or not, I want you to know that the effort that you're putting into improving our city is really, really inspiring.
Thank you, Brian. That means a lot, and I know I can be a taciturn guy, but I hope I've been able to communicate to you how much I appreciate you as deputy mayor and my friend.
Now you're making me blush, sir. I better go downstairs.
All right, go for it.
Click.
Hello.
Ah!
My name is Tyler Napier.
Oh, what? Oh, wait, no, we invited you. That's,
I saw my symbol. Would you like me to play at Chuckles?
Yes, we would, but, there's something you should know. This is Mean City. If we don't like a comedian, we beat them up.
I'm prepared for all possible outcomes. I've trained to be a comedian in the in the top of in the from the Swiss Alps to what I'm trying to say is I've trained with ninjas to become the most varied and skillful comedian there is, and I'm prepared for anything that could possibly happen.
Back in the catacombs. Okay, hold still. I'm just finishing up the nose. There we go.
All right.
You look exactly like yourself, but in clown makeup. You're completely completely
No one
unrecognizable.
will recognize me.
Now, where do these catacombs come out from?
Well, we just need to find a manhole. There's one right around the block from where my car is parked.
Okay, sounds good.
But that's right on. See, most cities have a main street,
Yeah.
but this city has Mean Street, the
the
most populous street in Mean City.
I should be mad, but I kind of appreciate them sticking to the theme, you know?
Yeah, it's somewhat clever.
Okay. Well, let's see. I see the manhole here. There should be nothing suspicious about two clowns coming out from manhole cover in the middle of a populous street.
Yeah. All right, let's go. Wow, my first time seeing daylight in over a year.
I'm afraid not.
What?
I've redirected this tunnel to come out here in my nightclub.
The
Ladies and
flamingo.
What? Who?
This guy. I've been hearing all about him from in the catacombs.
All right. Please come in. Come in. Have a seat. Let me get you a drink.
We really need to be going.
I'll have to hop over to the bar. I get everywhere on one foot because
Flamingos don't do that.
We stand on one foot. I don't know what you're talking about.
Stand on one foot.
Anyway, here is a gin and tonic for you, Mr. Cary Georgeland.
How did you know who I was?
Because you're a very recognizable person, and you're just wearing clown makeup.
Jack, I thought this would work.
Well, if the flamingo might just be an extremely perceptive person, Gary.
Yeah, that's definitely possible. Hey, actually, Flamingo,
Yes?
don't you fancy yourself to be something of a criminal?
What? No.
A criminal
I run a
nightclub?
perfectly legitimate nightclub here in the middle of Mean City.
Wait a minute. Underneath all of this wild pink clothing, now that I get a good look at your face, aren't you, Rodney Smithsonian?
Why, you're right. It's me, Rodney Smithsonian, the famous comedian who disappeared 20 years ago here
Oh my
in Mean
God.
City.
Rodney,
I was beaten up by the mayor and the deputy mayor. They damaged my leg, which is why I always have to stand on one foot.
What a
and
clever
so-
cover.
And to spite them, I founded a popular nightclub in the middle of their city that doesn't beat up its comedians.
Wow. All right, Rodney, Jack. Actually, Rodney. We're trying to make a break out of it. My car should be right around just a couple blocks from your club.
Yes, it's a popular tourist attraction here. I'm afraid you'll never make it. The lines to view it are too long. But I have a proposition for you.
All right, what is it?
Well, here's something you might not know. Tomorrow, at 7 p.m., Tyler Napier will be performing at Chuckles Comedy Club.
Of course,
They call
I
it
heard.
Chuckles because chuckles is the sound people make when they're laughing. But not too hard.
Yeah, I get that.
So here is what I'm proposing. What if, tomorrow, at 7 p.m., Kerry Georgeland headlined at the Flamingo Pond?
Oh, and the goal of that would be...
To once again inconvenience the mayor, whom I don't like because he beat me up.
My goal up until now is to just get out of this city, but I don't see how
Listen.
that would do that. That would only draw attention to me.
Listen, do you really want to leave the city that beat you up and forced you into a catacomb for a year without getting
Right.
revenge?
Right. I want to make it I want to humiliate these people.
Besides, Tyler Napier is your arch enemy in comedy, isn't that right?
That is right.
What if you got a much bigger audience headlining on the same day as he was headlining? Wouldn't that put a final nail in the coffin of who's the better comedian?
You know what, Flamingo? I like the way you think.
Then it's a deal.
All
A
right.
perfectly legitimate business transaction.
That's right. I imagine I'll be paid for my work.
Indeed, you will. I am either offering you a flat rate or a percentage of ticket sales.
Excellent. We'll work that out over a contract. But wait, Jack, will you open for me?
What? Me? But Carrie, you're the famous comedian. I'm just an up-and-coming nobody.
Right. That's how opening acts usually work.
Oh. Wow. All right, I'll do it, Carrie. I'll do it. I'll open for you.
All right. The one thing that's going to make this difficult is that the mayor is trying to make sure that everybody goes to the other comedy show.
Indeed. But not to worry. The Flamingo has a plan even for that.
Tomorrow at 7 o'clock at Chuckles.
We're almost all set here, sir. You're just going to have to delay the audience for a few minutes, okay? But some...
Why's that?
What?
Why's that?
There's just a few problems with the heating system in the club. It's extremely... Well, it's very cold, to tell you the truth.
That isn't good. And anyway, Tyler isn't here yet. This isn't good at all. Where could he be? Hello.
Ah! Whoa, who the fuck? How did that happen?
I'm ready to go on. Even in the frigid cold.
It's just that I'm sure you are, Mr. Napier. It's just that the audience probably doesn't want to sit in a room that is uncomfortably chilly. That's Dr. Uncomfortably Chilly to you. Hello, I've been hired by the Flamingo to keep this room well below the comfortable temperature.
Oh no, I hate this guy. He goes into buildings and finds the thermostat always and lowers it uncomfortably, which is something that's within his right to do.
I know. I mean, you being the manager of this club could presumably just ask him not to do that. But
right.
But on the other hand, I mean, it's pretty close to supervillainous behavior.
That's true.
65? I'm taking it down to 62.
Stop right there, criminal. I mean, person getting in the way of my comedy show.
Tyler Napier, I thought we might meet. Would you like a sweater?
No, thank you. In fact, I'm ready to put your plan on ice by raising the temperature back up.
Oh no, my one weakness, another person adjusting the thermostat. I'm leaving.
All right.
Well, that wasn't so bad. I expected a lot worse.
Okay, I'm gonna go on stage now and begin.
Where's everyone? I only see a couple people in the audience. Where is everybody? They couldn't have all been driven out by Dr. Uncomfortably Chilly.
That's strange. And why are they all scratching themselves?
It is odd. Yeah, it looks almost like they have a painful rash.
It is odd, isn't it? That's Miss Painful Rash to you.
Miss Painful Rash.
That's right. I left poison oak on all the seats in your establishment.
I feel like that justifiably could be called a crime, or at least a misdemeanor.
Yeah, we should get the mayor to take a look at this.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Unfortunately, this is Mean City, and we never put a law against putting poison oak on people's stuff.
All right.
You just gotta let it go. Nothing you can do about it.
Bye.
Darn it. Okay.
Everybody's getting led away from my comedy show.
And now, look what's happening now. The few people who didn't get a painful rash appear to be having some kind of reaction to the sight, as though they're hallucinating their worst pet peeves. That's Mr. Pet Peeves to you.
Oh, God, that is an awful costume.
I've developed a chemical gas that makes people see their pet peeves. Here, let's see what you are most mildly irritated by.
No. Everybody stop saying supposedly instead of supposedly.
That's so annoying.
No, it's not real. Must do comedy.
That's it. I'm gonna beat this guy up. If we can beat up comedians, then we should be able to beat up vandals and annoyances as well.
Yeah, take this.
Who knew that poisoning people with a hallucinogen would make them angry? I'd better get out of here and report back to the Flamingo.
We cut to the Flamingo's nightclub. Yeah, hey, Flamingo?
Yes.
I have a big question.
I'm listening.
How did any of that accomplish what we're trying to do?
We're driving customers out of Chuckles Comedy Club and into the Flamingo Pond.
Oh my gosh, look! It's completely full!
That's right. I've actually been having to turn people away because we're completely sold out.
Oh my god, this is going to be a huge story. This is going to be a phenomenon. This is going to be just the thing to get the news coverage that's going to let us finally escape this awful city.
Well, now hold on. I admit that Mean City takes some getting used to, but
You don't have to leave, but I want to.
You know, I've got a lot riding on this too, Mr. George Lind. After all those various colorful characters that I sent to harass Chuckles Comedy Club, that could probably be justified legal action against the Flamingo Pond. But if you really kill it at this comedy club, then the mayor will never win re-election, and the new district attorney will be in my pocket.
The new district attorney?
That's right. He's sitting in the audience over there.
Oh God, look at that awful burn he has over his whole face.
Yes, his entire face is hideously burned. However, the people of Mean City look past appearances and
they're generous.
judging based on his legal acumen, which is very impressive.
All right, so all I have to do is do the craziest, broadest stand-up comedy routine this city has ever seen. I'm ready to go on.
Mr. Blaster is almost done with his set, and he's going to be introducing you here.
Excellent.
And that's the many ways that men and women are different from each other.
Ha 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 ha! We like that now.
It's true, yes.
It was nuanced.
Yes, it sounded like it was a setup for a stereotype or a small-mindedness, but really I think he's just shining a light in some uncomfortable aspects of our society. And now, guys, I have a really, really great honor here at the Flamingo Pond. You guys have a special guest tonight. Tonight's headliner, a man who's been living in an underground sewer system for an entire year. A man who was harassed and beaten by the duly elected representatives of Mean City. A man who had the opportunity to remove the clown makeup I put on him when that plan didn't work, but has not done that, and is still dressed as a clown. Ladies and gentlemen,
a man named Tyler Napier. That's right, it's me, the mayor, and I'm up to your tricks.
Mr. Mayor, what are you doing here? First of all, it's awfully impolite to interrupt the person on stage while they're speaking.
Oh, you mean to introduce me? Who's behind you?
You're Tyler Napier.
Tyler Napier, my arch enemy in comedy.
Oh no! But how did you get here? Chuckles Comedy Club is 2 blocks away.
As the mayor, I knew what you guys were up to, so I hatched a plan of my own. You two are gonna have to do stand-up comedy at the same time. It's stand-up comedy battle.
Wow! Though it is perfectly within my rights as the owner of this nightclub to say no to that idea and ask the mayor to leave, as he is clearly invading a space that people paid tickets for, I'm not going to do that. I want to see this stand-up comedy battle for the soul of Mean City.
Oh no, this isn't what I was prepared for at all. But, alright, I'll do it.
Carrie, listen to me. You got this. You can do this, okay? You're dressed as a clown right now.
Right.
You know what clowns are? Funny.
That's true.
You've got a sold out audience there, and they came to see Carrie Georgeland, not Tyler Napier.
That's right. Okay, I'm ready to go on stage. All right, as part of this stand-up comedy battle, Tyler Napier will begin. All right, I'm I, I, I'm not too nervous because I have a great bit that always kills. Let's see what Tyler does. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Here's a hubcap. Turns out it's an electric hubcap. No! He stole that bit from me!
Oh dear, Tyler Napier stole your joke. This is terrible. I would tell him not to do that, but then I'd have to put my foot down, and I'm not prepared for that. Well, let's see what his next joke is.
Well, I remember the time that I lost my parents, who were horribly slayed in Crime Alley. I watched them gunned down in front of my eyes, my mother's pearls thrown to the floor. It's the first memory I have, and...
Whoa, he's bombing. That sort of thing happens all the time in Mean City. That's extremely common in Mean City, and it's not an amusing story at all. You've got a shot here, George. Carrie, get out there. Take this opportunity. Get the audience on our side. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Carrie Georgeland.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a long time since I've done this. They already like me because of my makeup.
Look at that. It looks like he's got a big smile. But I can tell that it's just a makeup.
This is it. This is the time for me to own the person that I am. No longer am I Carrie Georgeland. I'm the person who turns people's mild amusement into a way for self gain. I am the funnier.
Mr. Mayor.
Brian, what is it?
It's Georgeland. They're loving him. He's hilarious. And Tyler Napier is bombing. Our scheme is unraveling.
Oh no. What can we do?
Well, there's always one thing that we often do when faced with a comedian here in Mean City.
That's right. Beat them up!
Alright, okay, here we go. Let's go beat him up. I can't, the crowd is too thick. I can't reach the stage, Mr. Mayor.
Hey, you guys, why don't you want to beat him up?
Well, because he's extremely funny, obviously.
We like this.
You know who we don't like? Tyler Napier. He's not funny.
Yeah, let's beat him up.
Look, he's literally repeating the bit from moments ago that the funnier tried.
Mother, father.
It actually seems like he's still coming to terms with the terrible tragedy of his life. That's not funny at all. That's just sad.
Boo!
Boo! Can we boo half of the stage and cheer for the other half?
Yeah, let's do that. Boo!
Yay! Boo! Hey, I brought some fruit and eggs and things. What do you say we throw them at Tyler Napier?
Sounds good. Looks like these. And I brought some fresh fruit. And cooked omelets. Let's say we throw those at Carrie Georgeland.
Call him the funnier.
Yay, the funnier!
Yay.
Here's a tasty breakfast.
That's nice. That's nice of them to do that for you.
Cut to the next day, back in the catacombs.
Why did we come back here, Carrie? I don't understand. I thought you hated this place.
I thought I did too, but last night showed me that there's still work to be done here in this city. Have a look at what I've done to the catacombs. I've converted it to a meeting place.
Whoa, this is incredible. Look, there's desks, a long conference table, even chairs for people to sit in.
That's right. I believe we'll have a couple of guests on their way.
It's true. And I'm going straight to the thermostat.
I prefer it to be a bit warmer inside.
And what do you say? Would you say that's a peeve of yours?
So wait, was he actually here? You guys are pretty crafty.
You might need some of this local skin cream. After all, there's many dangerous things in the catacombs.
Well, I'm glad you're all here.
And I'm here too. And I'll tell you what, we've just constructed a brand new tunnel leading straight into the Flamingo Pond 2, formerly Chuckles Comedy Club. I bought it out.
Very good, Flamingo.
Well, what are all these people doing here? I mean, why did you invite all these local nuisances?
Well, that's the thing, Jack. Or, maybe I shouldn't call you Jack. You've been there by my side this whole time. That's why you and your Harlequin outfit, I guess, really, I should call you,
The odd patterned unitard.
That's right, odd patterned unitard. We were stuck in this horrible city for too long, and now the Society for Making Things Unpleasant are going to make things unpleasant for the whole city for ages to come. Hee 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 hee.
Whoa, I like what
Listen to my staid laughter.
Wow, this is incredible. So you're almost like above and beyond what a regular local nuisance would be. You're like some kind of super nuisance.
That's right. That's why I call us the Society of Super Nuisances.
Excellent. Oh, it's perfect.
Wonderful, darling.
But what about Tyler Napier? Surely he wants to stop you.
Yes. I believe he should be our first target.
Why, we could make his home uncomfortably chilly and itchy and full of pet peeves.
That's right. And I believe he's about to record his Comedy Central special.
I can't believe they gave him one.
I know. A lot of this is out of jealousy.
That seems fair. I wonder whatever happened to the mayor and the deputy mayor.
I don't know.
They're running us out of town, Mr. Mayor. Our plans have all exploded in our face.
You're right, Brian, but to be honest, there's no one I'd rather be running next to than you, my best friend and deputy mayor.
That's really nice of you to say. Even though we are suffering from something of a setback at this time, I would like to remind you that your objective at the very beginning, after all, was to get a supervillain in Mean City, and I think you have almost succeeded, even though he's really more just of an annoyance to us, and again, has not done anything entirely illegal. But we gotta get out of town. We gotta go to Grump Town.
All right, here we go.
Wait, I've got an idea. We'll never make it on foot. We gotta boost a vehicle. Here's a car we can steal right now.
Excellent. Let's touch it.
Meanwhile, at Comedy Central. All right, you're on, Mr. Napier. Whenever you're ready.
Excellent. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tyler Napier, and is anybody else a little bit cold? Well, I guess I better put on my cape that I'm known for when doing comedy. I wish that this Comedy Central special wasn't live to tape. Anyway, I'll beginning my. Wait a minute. What's this in my cape? So much poison oak. It's so itchy now.
Mr. Napier, I filled this cowl with analgesic cream. You better put it on.
Oh, thank you. Anyway, that's much better. That's much better.
Now, supposedly, we'll be able to get you back on stage as soon as we can.
Wait a minute.
Irregardless of all of these irritations.
Don't you just mean regardless? Irregardless is not even a real word and it's redundant. No, my pet peeves. What? So many nuisances. I'll never be able to do comedy again. Hee 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 hee. And that's the sound of my pretty wild but mostly even-keeled laughter.
Doesn't seem entirely unreasonable. I mean, it's a little bit out there, but again, it's fine for a social situation.
That's right. I'm the funnier, because I'm funnier than you, Tyler. And I have won.
And I'm the odd-patterned unitard, and I helped.
That's right, odd-patterned unitard. This is the first of many wins for the Society of Nuisances, I think we were called.
I thought it was Super Nuisances, but I like yours better.
Super Nuisances!
Yay!
Well, I guess that's it for us here at Big Town Improv, isn't that right?
I think so, Josh. I think you got to see a lot of interesting stories.
That's right. From Big Town to your town.
I'm Jesse Moriarty.
I'm Josh Pilch.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
I forgot we were doing that. One more time.
Yeah.
Bye.
You can follow Big Town Improv on all the social medias at Big Town Improv. All of our funky, fresh, original music is by Steve Wilder Blumenthal of WilderBlueMusic.com. That's WilderBlue music.com.